Hello and welcome to a Theme Park Worldwide News Update. Cedar Point, that's located in Ohio, USA, have officially announced Top Thrill 2, a complete reimagining of the former Top Thrill Dragster into the world's tallest and fastest triple launch Strata-coaster. In this video, I'm going to share all of the details about Top Thrill 2, including the official statistics. We'll take a look at the animation POV and off-ride footage. Along with that, I'll share my thoughts on Top Thrill 2 and exactly what we're going to be seeing coming to Cedar Point in 2024. Just want to start off by saying how exciting this is, because there's been so much speculation, from myself included when we visited Cedar Point earlier this summer. There's so many different people predicting what they think is going to happen, all the speculation, and I've loved kind of following up. The build up to this really has been fantastic, so it's great that finally we've got the official confirmation from Cedar Point about what's happening to this ride. Now I just want to firstly just talk a little bit about the history for those of you that don't know loads about Top Thrill Dragster, and then also talk a little bit about what, of course, they're keeping from the original ride and with the reimagined ride with Top Thrill 2. Now, Top Thrill Dragster was manufactured by the Swiss company Intamin, and it opened in 2003 as the tallest and fastest roller coaster anywhere in the world. It kept that record until Kingda Ka opened at Six Flags Great Adventure in 2005, and of course that's also in the USA. Now, with the records that it had when it opened, 120 miles an hour hydraulic launch, which was incredible, and of course heading over the 420 foot tall top hat. That was the experience of Top Thrill Dragster. I experienced it for the first time in 2018. It was a front row ride, and I'll never forget it. It blew me away. The acceleration was fantastic, and of course heading up and over that top hat on an iconic ride really was spectacular. Now, it continued to operate through it until the summer of 2021, where it did close suddenly, and from that point no one's really known exactly what was going to happen until just a few days ago. Everyone was speculating. At first, people saying, oh, it could be torn down, they could replace it with something new, they could keep parts of it, and of course that's what's ended up happening. Quite a lot of the existing ride has stayed, not all of it, as I'll talk about in just a moment, but quite a lot of it has, and it's been reimagined into Top Thrill 2. Now, of course, this is set to open in 2024, meaning that it'll be in over 3 years this ride's being closed. However, I feel like it's going to be more than worth it, because I am really excited for this. What's also making it very different is the manufacturer. Now, of course, Top Thrill Dragster was built by Intamin. However, the reimagined ride is being built by Zamperla. So they're actually keeping the existing kind of Intamin structure, and then Zamperla have come on, bringing their launch, some new track, the new spike, and also as well this brand new train design which they're going to be launching on here too, which we'll have a look at and talk about in detail. But yeah, set to be the world's tallest and fastest triple launch Strata-coaster. Well, it'll be the only one, won't it? Because yeah, the only other Strata-coaster is Kingda Ka. I guess they've said it's going to be the first one of these, just in case if a few years down the line they decide to change Kingda Ka, you know, and go for something like this. And also that leads me into why you'd want to change it. Now, obviously, in the early 2000s, a big thing was these hydraulic cable launch coasters. We've got one just up the road from here at HQ at Alton Towers with Rita, Stealth at Thorpe Park, Kingda Ka, Formula Rossa. There's lots of these hydraulic launches. However, we don't see them getting built anymore, and that's mainly because of, from a maintenance point of view, they can be an absolute nightmare. You've got to change cables and running costs, whereas with LSM technology that there is now, that a lot of launch coasters now have and are built with, then the running costs, you know, and the overall maintenance is not as high. It's not as much to do, because of course you've got that there. It doesn't need to keep getting replaced like a cable does every so often. So yeah, we may see Kingda Ka change at some point. You never know. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, so this, as it opens, is going to be the tallest and fastest triple launch Strata-coaster. Now, it's going to feature the 3 launches, and this is what does excite me quite a lot. The first launch, not as much, but still, it's going to be a nice way to start the ride. So you'll move out the station, they're building this super fast transfer track, and of course you'll move out onto the launch track. It's going to be a forwards launch at 0 to 74 miles an hour, so nothing record breaking there, but it should be quite nice because you'll head up the tower a little bit and then start to roll back, which will be quite cool. This is what excites me the most, the fact there's going to be a 101 miles an hour reverse launch. Now, anyone that's been on Superman at Six Flags Magic Mountain will know how awesome that launch is backwards. That's 100 miles an hour, so you imagine that on Dragster, you're going to have that initial launch, then you're really going to feel it with the backwards launch, and then of course you're going to head up this brand new tower that's being constructed. So you've got the original tower, the original top hat at 420, and then opposite it they're going to build another tower which is also going to be 420, and you're going to launch up there at 101 miles an hour, which is going to be awesome. It's 90 degrees, it's not going to have a spiral in or anything like that. It's going to be 90 degrees straight up, and you're going to be looking down over the park, and I can just imagine it now. It's going to be fantastic. You can feel my energy and excitement for this one because I'm really pumped. And then of course you'll get to the top, and then you'll make your way down back onto that launch track. We'll do the third and final launch, which is going to take the train up to its original speed from 2003 of 120 miles an hour. And of course then you'll make your way up over the existing top hat, which is still there, and then you'll come down and then make your way into that spiral. It's a 270-degree spiral straight towards the ground before heading through the finish sign and into the brake run. So yeah, they've kept the original kind of intermin track for the whole top hat. Brand new brakes, brand new station, brand new launch system using LSMs going onto here. And you know what, it really excites me. There's one thing that I'm not too sure about with this, and that is of course the capacity. Now it is going to be running 3 trains. Each train will be able to seat 20 riders. So from a capacity point of view, you know, I'm just hoping they can get the train sent out fast enough, because you've got to think with it having a switch track moving across, you know, you've got to let it do its launches, head over the top hat before it can be clear for the next train. So from a throughput point of view, it's probably not going to have as good a throughput as the original Dragster. However, these new trains, the Lightning trains from Zamperla, look pretty awesome. I remember seeing these at IAPA in Orlando a few years ago and thinking, these look really good. Zamperla are an Italian manufacturer and they've never done anything quite this big before. This is going to make or break Zamperla. This is going to be a big deal for them. And you know what? I feel like they're going to be able to do it. They've put all these animations out there. We've seen lots of the parts already arrive at Cedar Point. It makes me very excited because this could be the start of a new era for Zamperla. You know, a lot of people have said, oh, they're disappointed they're doing it. For me, this could be a really unique experience. We don't know how them Zamperla launches are going to feel. Of course, LSM technology, it never has the same kind of whip as a hydraulic launch. However, I'm willing to give this a go, and we'll definitely be riding this next year. I want to be there to ride this and see it and experience it, because I was a big fan of the original Dragster. Now, yeah, in terms of, you know, the only negatives really, like I say, it's the throughput, and also as well, the fact that, you know, I am going to miss that initial acceleration, you know, 120 miles an hour from 0, straight over the top hat. It was simple, but effective. It did the job well. It had that intensity. However, I think you're going to get that, especially with the backwards launch. And you imagine, I mean, if you've been on Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, to Tartis, at Parc Asterix in France, you make your way up a spike on there, you know, and it gives you a great feeling. You imagine going up a 420-foot spike. It's going to be an amazing experience, and I really cannot wait for that. But yeah, they're the details that we know. Of course, it's going to have lap bars as well on the Lightning trains, which would be nice. Again, the original Dragster also had lap bars, whereas King Dakar, that opened a couple of years after, didn't. That's got the over-the-shoulder restraints, which I always find quite interesting. But I feel like there's a lot of pros to this and only a couple of cons. I'm just glad that they're keeping that iconic tower. They've changed the colour scheme now as well. It's going to feel like a completely refreshed ride, and I'm looking forward to following it over the next few months and throughout winter, ready for this to open. I mean, Cedar Point season always starts in May, and we can imagine that'll be the same for next year. And yeah, we'll probably see this open for the start of the 2024 season at Cedar Point, Sandusky, Ohio. We'll be there to go and ride this next year, and yeah, that's Top Thrill 2, a triple launch coaster replacing the iconic Top Thrill Dragster. But you know what? I'm so glad that we're still seeing them using that top hat and just the look of it, because it really was a landmark and still is at Cedar Point. Let me know your thoughts on this big announcement down below in the video comments. I'm excited for it. How do you feel about it? Maybe you're not quite as sure and positive as I am, or maybe you're ecstatic just like me and really pleased to see them reusing that structure and Zamperla being brought in to try something a little bit different. It's going to make them or it's going to break them, and I'm really hoping it goes in the right direction, because yeah, that gets me really pumped and excited to ride this. Of course, stick with us here at Theme Park Worldwide for all the latest news updates, and that leaves me with one final thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. See you in tomorrow's video.